Well, we're rolling right along with these Daily Dose videos. Today is Saturday, May 5th, and we have 5 more letters for you. I put on my glasses because these letters are kind of long. It's a lot of text to read. So let's get started because I don't know how long it's going to take me to go through all this. Dear Deborah, here's the situation. I've been with my boyfriend for 2 years and I am in love. We live together and talk about marriage frequently. He is a great man. However, the one problem I'm having with him concerns his mother. He's 33, definitely a mama's boy, although he doesn't see anything wrong with that. His mom is 62 and very dependent upon him for almost everything. Wow. She doesn't drive, so he has to take her everywhere she needs to go, and he has to constantly give her money. The other thing is that she calls him a lot, 3 to 4 times a day. What? And she's always needing something. We can be out somewhere together, and our time is interrupted because when she calls, he has to always call her, talk to her and call her back. What bothers me is that he thinks it's okay to be there for his mother like this, and his logic is that she will die someday, so he has to do all he can while she's alive. That seems like she's guilt-tripping him to me. He also thinks I should be helping him more, but I'm not into pacifying anyone. I don't mind helping, but his mother's the type that the more you do, the more she wants. I feel it's preventing us from moving on with our relationship because she's so intrusive and needy. She's very nice to me, but a line has to be drawn. I don't want to leave him, so I want someone to give me some advice on how to deal with this. We have argued about this before, but most recently he told me that he is willing to discuss this without being offended and that he is open to suggestions of how to deal with his mama and how he could find other people to help him with her rather. Any advice? This reminds me of a situation I was in. I met this guy, I had this thing about I wanted my next husband to be a fireman because they'd be gone for days at a time. I thought that would be perfect for me because, I don't like somebody to be up in somebody's face all the time. So I met this guy, nice guy, he was cool, we had a good time. So he invites me over to his house one day. Why do I go to this man's house and find out that he's got his aged mama living there with him? Now that's not, so much of a problem, but she was that kind where she needed diapers and all this old stuff. And, that was right after my husband, well, not right after, a couple of years after he died. So, I was still really young, and I was looking at this. He was like 15 years older than me. And his mother, of course, was like 20 years older than him. So, this was quite a span of age here. And I looked at that situation, and he, he had a beautiful home, and he's like, this room here, you could make that into your sewing room or what office or whatever you want, and this and that. And he was just really trying to get me to move into this house and be his woman. But I looked at that situation and I knew that was nothing I was interested in, not at all. So when I hear stuff like this, it's nice that you love him. It's nice that he is a great guy. But this is the kind of thing where you have to weigh reality and make some really hard decisions, because whichever decision that you make, you're going to have to live with it. Now, the first thing I'm thinking is he must be an only child, right? Or he's the only son, but I'm betting only child if she calls him that much and she's not spreading it around between other children. So women like that, when they have an only child, especially if that only child is a boy, they just, not all, but the majority have some kind of unreasonable attachment to their sons. And they tend to treat them and want to depend on them like they would if they had a husband. So these are my suggestions for you. So, keep that in mind. I'm telling you, don't overlook any of the stuff I'm going to tell you. The first thing that he should do is contact the local, whatever city you guys live in, Department of Social Services. Social Services can she can apply for different kind of home assistance. I'm thinking a home health aide would be good. Somebody could come in and clean up, drive her to the store, drive her to pay her bills. They talk to them, play games with them and stuff to keep them occupied, and prepare simple meals. They don't do any large scale cooking, but they can prepare some simple meals. Now, the trick is, if you're always giving her money, then she probably has a pretty low income, so her share of costs would probably be pretty reasonable or possibly even, just negligible. But you won't know what she's qualified for until you guys apply and they send a social worker out and, investigate what her financial situation is and what her needs are, how independent she is, that kind of thing. Oops, me and this phone. There are also adult daycare centers that a lot of people use. You drop them off there in the morning, like before you go to work, just like you would a kid, and they stay there all day. And they have entertainment, music, they sing, they can dance if they can still get around that well. They do crafts, play board games, play cards and stuff, gossip with each other. They usually have a library. Sometimes they can swim, they can take exercise classes, and sometimes they even take them on like field trips, like they go see a play or a matinee movie, or sometimes for the healthier ones they might go on an overnight trip, like to a casino or to see some kind of art thing, a play, music, or whatever in another city, and they stay overnight. But again, that's going to require some time, or you look into it. And I want you to also consider, look into the future. It sounds like, she's pretty independent except for the driving thing. But if she's no longer capable of taking care of herself, guess who she's coming to live with? Are you prepared for that? This is a reality. She's only 62 now, but with her dependency on this kid, if anything happens to her where she's even slightly incapacitated, she's gonna be leaning on him like, honey, I hope you're ready, because as his wife, see, you would be expected to step up. Now, you don't have to do it right now because you're just a girlfriend. You can walk out the door any moment you please. So him, he doesn't have to, you don't have to do anything. But as the wife, that's family now. So how you gonna get out of it? I see what your attitude is about the whole thing, but you better think about this reality. She may have another, 5 or 10 years before this happens, but it is going to happen. And then the last thing is, I kind of feel sorry for him because no matter what he does, one of y'all is going to be mad at him. One of you is going to be pissed. She's trying to get him to do what she wants him to do, and you're trying to get him to see things your way. This is a no-win situation. The best plan that I can set up for him is what I suggested, that he get some help. But that's not going to be, it's not going to resolve the issue of when she's unable to live by herself. He's not going to put her in no home. He's going to bring her to where he is. And that means you're going to be the one in there changing diapers and making sure she got food and all this, so bathing her and all that old stuff. So y'all better think about this. Okay, letter number 2. This was funny. This lady wrote, hold on a second, put an extra space in there. Okay, there we go. What do you do when you go on a date with a dude who goes out of his way to make sure you know how much he paid for everything, while at the same time making you feel like you're what's on the menu? Deb, we went to Universal Soul Circus, and he sent me a copy of the tickets with the price in large. What? Who does that? He bought snacks for the circus and left price tags on Pringles. When we had our picture taken, he bought it for me, making note of the cost. After the circus, we went to BBQs. When the bill came, he slid over to where I was sitting to sign it. He took so long to sign, I looked over to see why. He was making sure I could see how much it cost. Then dude spent the evening extolling the joys of pussy eating and how skilled he is at it. Oh, no matter how I changed the subject, it always came back to him burying his face in my crotch. That was not a turn on. I just like, huh? By the way, we are not youngsters. I'm 51 and he's 62. Look at that old raggedy ass fool. Oh my God, 62 years old, acting like he's 5. Okay, what do? You know me with my sharp tongue. I would have been like, I noticed you keep showing me prices and stuff, but your social security check is not gonna stretch to cover it. What's the problem? If you can't afford it, homie, then you shouldn't be asking women out. You probably need to go, date somebody that's in the nursing home where you live. I would have said something vicious. And then him talking about burying his face in the crotch. Why, your dick don't work no more? That you gotta, that's what you talking about? Because you can't do nothing with that dick, Mr. Limpet. I I don't know. I would have said, I would have had to, I would have had to draw it to his attention that I noticed, but that I really didn't give a fuck, and that, he's coming across as cheap and stupid. And, that would have been what I would have pointed out to him. It's like, if this is really costing you too much, then we should end the date. Because, I'm not into this whatever it is you're trying to do to let me see how many, pennies you spending. And you think you're going to get some payment for it at the end of the day. That's why you're talking about pussy eating. So you're supposed to be like paying all this stuff thinking that you investing in some coochie coupons or something? Motherfucker, I don't think so. The old ass, wrinkly old fool? No. So anyway, that's probably how I would have handled it. And then the day would have been over real quick because I don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. By the time he did that thing with the ticket price enlarged, that would have been a wrap for Dad. Like, what the fuck is this? I've never heard of them. Even high school boys don't do shit like that. They have a little paper route or whatever they do, working at the grocery store, to make their little money. And they don't even treat women like that. This guy is a loser. Girl, you should send him that picture back and tell him that, now he can you consider himself reimbursed for the cost of the picture because you don't want it. All right, letter number 3. Oh, that was pretty funny. This one is serious. My parents are getting a divorce after 19 years of marriage. Wow. I think it's a mistake. My mom is 45 and she's the one that wants this divorce because she doesn't like her life or her career and can't stand anyone. I know that feeling. She won't get help from anyone either. Please help me. Thank you. And this person cited Going Crazy. Dear Going Crazy, I think before you jump to conclusions that your mama's making mistakes, since you don't know what her marriage is like, you don't know what she's thinking, what she's feeling, you don't know anything. All you know is what you think you know from the perspective of a child. And I'm going to talk about that in a second, but let's talk about this first. At 45, that's like when men typically have what they call a middle-age crisis. And a lot of women have it too. I don't know what the name of it is, but they realize the bullshit that they have been, that's been stuffed down their throat about, happily ever after, marriage, family, children, that whole thing. And they realize their life is meaningless. They didn't do anything that they wanted to do because they were taking care of everybody else's needs and putting everyone else first. And then this woman, she realizes that her life is more likely more than half over, and she can't stand the thought that she would spend the rest of her life living like that. Okay, that's what your mama's going through. But instead of you even thinking about what might be bothering her, you just want to flatly say that it's a mistake. No, you don't get to make that decision. So before you get too far gone on your little gravy train here, sit down with your mother. Sit down and calmly have a conversation with that woman and talk to her. Find out what's going on with her. Try to understand what she's going through. Because as a kid, you see things from this perspective of, oh, that's mommy who's always there to meet my needs, mommy who's always there to be a positive influence and stabilize my life and make me happy. So you don't want to lose that. Even though if you've been married 19 years, that means your ass is at least 18. So you don't need your parents like that anymore. You can still see them. You get a car and jobs and stuff. If you want to go see her living at her house, you can get in your car and drive over there and see her. You're an adult now, so stop it with this stuff. And what kids are very selfish. They're just innately selfish beings. And I mean, of course, as babies, they have to be because they don't know anything else. But by the time you become a teenager, you can talk, you can start doing things independently and things for yourself, but you still focus on what you want and what you need and what you like. See, no. Because, just think about what your mother has been through. What is about this? Oh. Okay, you come in the house, right? The house is clean. Who you think cleaned it? You go and open the refrigerator, you looking for something to eat. Who the fuck you think put all that shit in the refrigerator? When you open up that cabinet to get your boxes of cereal, who the fuck you think put it there? Who got the milk that you pour in your cereal? Who made sure that there was nice forks, plates, and spoons there? Who made sure that your clothes was clean and that, as you were growing up, your clothes were clean, and that you had them in the right size. Your shoes, your underwear, your shit as you were growing up. Who did all that? When you got in trouble at school, who went up there to advocate on your behalf? When you had games and, or recitals and what dance shows, whatever competitions, who was there rooting for your ass? So you're not thinking about, the work that goes into being a mother. Think, okay, now you're 18 or whatever age now and you can drive. But who was driving you around before you could drive yourself? Who was doing that? Who was buying you birthday presents and Christmas presents and buying presents for your friends and chauffeuring you and your friends around when you were trying to call yourself hanging out with your buddies and y'all was too young to drive? Who did that? See? Who made sure that your ass went to the doctor, that you got your shots, that if you had the sniffles, that you had, Vicks Vapor Rub to rub on your chest? Who read you stories every night, and who comforted you when you had a nightmare? Your mama. Your mama did all that shit. Okay, well now she's fucking tired. She's tired and she wants to do something that's gonna be rewarding for her. Okay? Instead of thinking that she's making a mistake, you need to be on her side and say, Mom, I understand that, the relationships that you've had with us has been very one-sided, and I want to apologize for that because I was a kid and I didn't really understand, but now I do. She's just tired. She's been like a nursemaid and a cook and a chauffeur and, the maid and Hazel and everybody, James, and she's been like that for everyone in the household. And now she's tired. Okay, she's ready to do something different. And, you just really don't know what goes on in people's marriages, what they fight about behind closed doors, stuff about the kids like discipline and, money. Money's always a big one with couples, family issues like, extended family, all kind of stuff. And if you feel like you can't talk to her, try writing her a letter. That works. And, she just really just not feeling like, is this all there is? And she wants to start over. She wants to do something that is going to be fulfilling for her. Because, those years that she spent doing other stuff, she can't get those years back. The only thing she can do is change things going forward. And that's what she want to do. Now, what you could do, after you thank her for all the sacrifices that she's made on y'all's behalf, is ask her if she would consider your request, politely worded, not as an order, that she consider a separation before divorce. Like maybe go on a week-long or 2-week trip by herself. I'm sure you guys can afford something where she can have a little getaway. She needs some breathing room. She needs some time and space away from you all, your household, your daddy. She just needs, I totally understand where she's coming from. That's why this was a good letter for you to send to me. I totally get it. And, she got to fulfill her dreams. So be sure to ask her what her dreams are. And if there's something you can do to help her, do it. Okay, that's your mama. She done gave everything that she had to give to make sure you got to where you are in one piece, healthy, safe, sound, clean, well-nourished, and everything else. So the least you could do is help her fulfill one or more of her dreams before she dies. Okay? So that's your homework. That's what you do. And no more blaming your mother and saying she's wrong for wanting to get a divorce. Don't do that. She doesn't deserve that. All right, letter number 4. Whew, that was kind of hard. I'm kind of sweating. Miss Deb, I love your videos. You really help me boost my self-esteem. I'm a 30-year-old black woman and I've decided to give up on the traditional love relationship with a black man my age. I'm only interested in men over 45 with a career and stability to provide me with a safe, middle-class lifestyle. I'm very attractive and wealthy men have noticed me now that I've leveled up. My preference is Hispanic or Caucasian men. My friends make slick remarks about my choice and think I'm a gold digger. One of them is 34 and lives at home. The other is 32 and has been engaged with a cheating bum for 3 years. Wow. My question is, why do I have to build with a man versus only dealing with some man who's already built? Shouldn't these women want the same since they're struggling? Absolutely. Your friends, you need to get new friends. Now, see, this becomes an issue when, like you said, you leveled up. You change your mindset about, what it is that you want for yourself and what you want your life to look like. There's nothing wrong with that. Calling you a gold digger, okay, because a woman wants to have a nice home in a safe neighborhood where her kids can walk to and from school. They don't not have to worry about getting drive-by shot at and all this kind of stuff. They have a nice car that's a safe vehicle. Their dad comes home at night. He ain't tripping and dipping and all this old stuff. I mean, they have a backyard to play in. You know what I mean? What is wrong with a woman wanting that? A man who can send her children to private school, who can give them and provide them with enrichment classes and music lessons and tutors if they need it. What's wrong with that? Now, they can call it a gold digger if they want to, but the bottom line is your two friends are too stupid to have made that choice. They're going to stay with these no good, loser ass men until they're 50 or 60 years old and look around and wonder what they did with their life and why their life is all fucked up. Ooh, I just can't with these chicks. Like I said, you need to you need new friends. I would start putting them on the back burner and then ease them right on off the stove because you're going in a different direction now. It reminds me of that guy Michael Vick. That's how he got in all that trouble because he didn't know how to let go. And raised up in the hood with these knuckleheads, right? Those are his friends. And, people had that loyalty where, I knew him since then. I need to, I don't want them to think I'm thinking I'm too good for them and all this old shit. Please, think I'm too good for your ass because I am. I want you to think that so you can stay the fuck off my radar. But he didn't do that, see. So he had his friends, he's letting them use his land, and they doing this illegal shit and all this stuff. And no respect for the brother. No respect for the fact that, he has a lot to lose while your junky jailbird ghetto ass don't have nothing to lose because you didn't invest anything in this. It's Michael's land, it's Michael's career, it's Michael's life, and you just want to fuck it up. That's what niggas do. So had he left them behind, like I'm suggesting that you do, that situation wouldn't have happened. He would have been fine. So, at a certain point, you have to realize that, you may have walked this path with somebody, but now it's time to do this, okay? You need to go west, and they let them go east, and you do the thing that's going to work for you. You don't have to build with a man. And see, that's the thing about other races of men are raised and socialized to have something to offer a woman. They feel like having a wife is valuable. So they want to, create a nest for you to come into, for their children to be in, for, this space for his parents to stay if they come to visit, your parents to come and stay if they want to, big family gatherings, where you're safe, where you're sound, where his children are safe and sound. They want to have, financial stability, not eating, we're going from paycheck to paycheck. They want to have all of those things in place and then bring a woman into it. Not nignogs. They think that they supposed to just sit around chilling and you supposed to help them be, man up. Don't ever do that. I'm telling you, my own father, grandfather, all my uncles, and then my brothers too, all had their shit together. Then they brought a woman into it. But the young dudes don't seem to have that value. They think that, women are supposed to quote, help them. No, we're not. That's not our job. Our job is maybe help you get more, but you got to have a foundation laid by yourself. And then, she can come in and assist with the, enrichment of what you already got. And she brings her assets. Or she might not have any as much as you do financially, but she has other skill sets that still enrich what you got. Like maybe she's a great cook. She keeps a great home. So you in business, right? You invite these powerful people over to your house for dinner parties, and your wife handles it like a superstar. Okay, that's going to help your career. No, she might not be making as much money as you, but what she contributes is extremely valuable to you. Okay? Stuff like that. People don't think about those kind of things. So, your friends are struggling, let them struggle by themselves. You're going to do you and don't worry about them. I could have just said all that, but I like to explain why I think the way I think and say what I'm thinking. All right. Now this letter, ooh, this young lady. Oh. I have gotten myself in the worst situation of all time. I was dating a guy that I knew was involved with someone else. Oh, ding number one. We dated for about a year and a half. About 5 months ago, he got married, and the week after he was married, I started to see him more. Up, ding number two. And I ended up getting pregnant. Oh, ding number three. Not a month into him exchanging vows. He explained to me he wanted me to have an abortion, and in the near future, we would be more careful. Abortion was out of the question for me, and I went on with the pregnancy. Ding number four. Within a couple of months, I found out that his wife was 3 months pregnant, 3 months ahead of me in the pregnancy. She found out I was pregnant, and she called me and talked very ugly to me. From the time I told him I was pregnant, we have not spoken, and when we did, it was about him talking with others about me being pregnant in a nasty way, which he denies doing. 5 weeks ago, due to stress, I lost my baby. Oh, thank God. And it has been hard on me because now how I was treated, and I feel like he and his wife got what they wanted. At the present moment, he and no one else knows that I'm no longer pregnant because I have been going through a very bad depression to where I have been in the house asking myself why. I need someone to help me understand and advice on how to move on. How could he have been so cruel to me? And the loss of my baby is something I can't seem to get over at all. Okay. You made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. Where the hell are your values? Where are your boundaries? Where is the self-respect? I mean, okay, you knew he was involved with somebody else, but you fucked him anyway. Okay, then you knew he got married, and you fucked him anyway. What are you doing? Then you get pregnant by a married man. Did you understand that, right? You got pregnant by a married man. And then you want to, have the baby when obviously your thinking is kind of skewed. So people who don't really think right and don't have strong values and morals are not prepared to be parents. And somebody up there, down there, east, west, whatever you want to believe, whatever your spiritual belief is, understood the situation, and so that's why you are no longer pregnant. Yes, I feel slightly sorry for you. I know it's a grieving situation as on a woman-to-woman level. But, aside from that, every single thing that you did, you put yourself in that situation, and you kept compounding the errors. And I'm just like, why were you doing that? Now, you need somebody to help you understand. There's nothing to understand. Stop making stupid decisions. That's what you need to understand. Understand in your head what made you make these choices that you made. Why did you do that? Why did you do that to yourself? Okay? Do you realize how that affects your self-esteem when you just treat yourself so callously with such little regard? I mean, it's injurious to your spirit to do that, to treat yourself like that. So yeah, I could imagine you were stressed out, and the wife, of course she's pregnant, so she wasn't about to leave dude. But I'm sure that messed up her pregnancy too, to have to hear all that. This dude is just a piece, he's just an ass wipe. For both of you, he was an ass wipe. But you got yourself involved, you put yourself in there. So I can't really, put too much fault on him. You knew and you chose to do it anyway. So, doesn't sound like he was trying to hide it. And you talking about how could he have been so cruel to me? He told you to get an abortion. You chose not to do it. So how is that his fault? You did what you wanted to do, and all through this whole situation, you did everything that you wanted to do. So guess what that means? You're gonna be dealing with all the repercussions. That's what adults do. When adults make stupid ass decisions like you did, then and some tragedy happens, you gotta buck it up and just take the hit, girlfriend. Just take the hit. Now, my suggestion is you think about what you did and that you don't do that no more. If somebody comes to you and they talk about, oh, I got a woman, I got a wife, I'm this, I'm that, well, leave it, say, well, it's been nice meeting you, let me go. I got shit to do. you know, and it's like how old did you say you were? You didn't. But I'm going to assume that, you know, these people are getting married and stuff. You got to at least be in your mid 20s, possibly older. So, you know, I'm like, why did you not? I mean, how are you thinking that you're going to play the victim role when everything that happened to you, you had a hand in making happen? I'm just really not understanding that. Yes, he's trifling. Yes, he's nasty. Yes, he's a fucker. But, um, you know, you didn't have to be involved with him. So you had choices there that you didn't do anything about. So what I'm looking at, what I would like for you to do is get yourself into some counseling, because making a series of bad choices like this is a curious way to conduct one's life as you head into, you know, your more mature years. You need to get a handle on that. Otherwise, you're going to keep living your life that way and have something really, really, really catastrophic happen to you, and I don't want to see that. Okay, I'm sure your parents don't want to see that either. So please figure out, you know, why you decided that that was the path of life that you should take, and figure out what you need to do to not take that path anymore. That would be my final comment on that. So anyway, these letters, I'm telling you, and you guys don't even know the stuff. It's like, how do people get themselves in these situations? In my old advice columns on Ask Heartbeat back in the 90s and early 2000s, I would do 40, 50, sometimes 70 letters a week. And I look at, you know, I have some printouts of those things, and I'm like, oh my God, how did I do this? And you kind of look at them, and some of the stuff that people wrote in about was just crazy. But this one is right in there. All right, so that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another edition of the Daily Dose. How you guys liking this? Let me know. Share your thoughts. And if you have a question you'd like to submit, or a topic for the Wednesday night live streams that will be happening every Wednesday night the month of May, send it in to survivingdating@gmail.com. Surviving Dating is all one word. And I also want to give a shout out to all my Patreon supporters. I got a bunch of new people that pledged, you know, to their support. I appreciate it, and you know, it's going to enable me to do some really big things here. My next thing is to get a camera so that I can go out, you know, into the community and interview people, instead of just be stuck here at the house with this you know, video, what you call it, this webcam thing, computer camera. I want like a real camera so I can just go out and just really start some shit. Going to nightclubs, restaurants, up and down the street. What you doing? What you talking about? Let me ask you this question. That'll be fun. So anyway, that's what we got planned for the Debsterism channel over the next couple of months. I appreciate you guys sitting with me. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk some more.